It's a lovely day in the hood. Great day for an Odyssey, wouldn't you say? Now about 10:35 a.m. as we depart. Today we'll be using historic Lincoln Highway for much of our route. Before departing Baltimore, we're passing Pimlico Racecourse again, through the trees there. Home of the Preakness. I took you on a sunshine tour of that place too. Sunrise tour or whatever. Okay, now to skip town again. And now north on Reisterstown Road with leftover rush hour traffic. This, at one time, was the original route heading northwest before the coming of I-795. Nice day for a lane closure. But there's a good reason for that. Yeah, there is. We're out of the city, but now we gotta negotiate suburbia. And this part of it is called Pikesville. There's even a whiskey named after this area. I don't think they need it though. Now entering this road's namesake, Reisterstown. But before the coming of the freeway, this was your route to both Hanover and Gettysburg. And up ahead a bit of ways, the routes divide. Up here, the route to Gettysburg and Westminster bears left. But we're staying straight on this road to Hanover. Now it becomes Maryland Route 30. So we see Maryland Route 30. Later we'll see US 30. 2 30s in one day. Old route there. But there's a railroad track that cuts it apart, so I can't use it. There was a Maryland Railroad track. As we now pass through the Emory Grove area. Even the Western Maryland Railway divides here. One line passes beneath this bridge on its way to a place called Union Bridge. Other line proceeds straight north to Hanover, just as we are. Part of the Hanover line there. After Hanover, it goes on to York. Another part of the old road to this that I can use up here and show you. Here, I'll take it. And our first crossing of the Western Maryland line. Now CSX, of course. North is that way. Another crossing here, with more to come. Do I see a train headlight down there? Is that a reflection? And there's the line again to our right. I don't see anything on it so far. Now entering a place called Boring. Believe it or not. I did catch a run by here once. Nope, no headlight. I guess I didn't see anything. Now one last crossing on the old road. That'd be a great line to take a ride on one day. Be good to do what they're doing too. The bikers, not the car tailgating them. We're already doing that right now. Oh, here comes John Deere. Dear me. Dear John, whatever. John Deere, Dear John, same thing. Up here, back to the current route. I'm going to turn right to continue north. Now approaching the Hampstead area. The road used to continue through town, but now they bypassed it. But I'll take the original route through town to show it to you. Because last I came this way, the bypass didn't exist. And that would have been 2005. Another Western Maryland crossing. Anyway. Again, more construction. Yeah, they bypassed the road. Why are they fixing it?
Sorry.
Again, more construction. Another crossing of the same line as we depart Hampstead. Back in the 80s, had derailment back there. Then a couple of boxcars rolled clear down to here. And the next hotspot on our route, Manchester. Lots of flags. Very patriotic. I feel out of place being here. Now passing through a place called Melrose. A Melrose place, how about that? Just crossed into Pennsylvania. Now officially north of the border. Now almost 12:15 in the afternoon as we enter Hanover, Pennsylvania. The home of Utz Potato Chips. They come up at 42 miles from Baltimore. Someplace up here in the center of town, we pick up US 30 westbound. Couple more crossings here. I think the first one's Norfolk Southern. The second one's Western Maryland. And the Western Maryland line. Unless I got it backwards. And more construction. Slowed us down for a while. This is a tricky route today. That's all there's been today. One construction zone after another. Hope that's it for a while. And there's where they make them. Departed Hanover, finally. Heading for our meeting with US 30. And there it is. US 30. Lincoln Highway. Or to the left to go westbound. US 30. Lincoln Highway. Originally thought of back in 1913 by someone named Carl Fisher. He thought of this and got it built. Or we couldn't be on it. And this is New Oxford, which I showed you before in another video, coming the other way. And once I caught a CSX train at this crossing. Before continuing on, check out the New Oxford train station, formerly Western Maryland, now CSX. Interesting how at one time you could take a train to any place there was a track, but no longer. Yep, those were the days for sure. It appears to be some kind of visitor center for the area, but it's not open now. There it is, in its heyday. Wow, look what I found in the ground. Back to our Odyssey. US 30 West, Lincoln Highway. Our next hotspot will be Gettysburg. And here it is, Gettysburg. No point in talking about all the history out here. All of you know what happened here. Save me some breath that way. I thought during the weekday it'd be less busy here. Boy, was I wrong. I already shown you most of this, so I'll just proceed on through. You gotta watch every detail here. Just like New York, same thing up there. Now on the outskirts, I'm passing the battlefields. And the monuments and things. There we go. That's the original route. We'll take that route. This bypasses a couple localities. We'll go this way. Original Lincoln Highway. Old US 30. Why not? Near these cool signs denoting it. I guess we're going the right way. Passing through McKnightstown, formerly New Salem. Our next historical location, Cashtown. Up ahead is the Cashtown and up ahead a bit of ways. Oop. They still deliver mail that way in these small localities. And there's the Cashtown Inn right there. A bed and breakfast. Allegedly haunted. Have a look. The Cashtown Inn, as seen in the movie Gettysburg, if you saw that. Rumor has it, one of the rooms up there is haunted. The second window from the right has a ghost in that room, from what the rumors say. And folks claim to have seen the ghost standing in the window on occasion. Of course, the shade's pulled down now. But someplace in there's a ghost. Love to catch them on video. Believe me, if there's a ghost in there, I'd love to capture it. Well, who you gonna call? Anyway, here to the right is Spigot Valley. And that mountain is Catoctin Mountain. Lincoln Highway, dedicated 1922. And in 1927, the feds began numbering the roads and gave this the number 30. Up here we cross over the modern day US 30, which will be back on eventually. After one more smidge of the original road. Back in the 90s, there'd be cats on that porch. 3 of them, which we called the 3 cool cats. That was 20 years ago. Are they still alive? And back to the modern day route. There are more old road parts I'll try to pick out. I'm thinking the highway once ran from Times Square in New York to San Francisco. From New York to Philadelphia, it follows Route 1. From Philly West, like we're on now, follows US 30. Now on one more part of original US 30, Lincoln Highway. And this is Fayetteville on the original Lincoln Highway. But just like the National Pike, not sure what determined what towns stayed on the route and what towns got bypassed. It's hard to determine what the reasons are for each town being whatever. This town got bypassed while some stayed on the reroute. Most of the rerouting took place in the mid-30s, around 1935 or 36. One might assume that's when this town got taken off the new route. But who says which towns get bypassed and which towns stay on? No one knows the answer to that. I've done some research, but can't find the answer to that question. And up here, the current route rejoins us. I'm now passing through Chambersburg. In fact, the road from Gettysburg to here was once known as the Chambersburg Parkway, or Highway, something like that. Norfolk Southern. Up here, US 11 crosses, heading north towards Scranton and New York State as well. And up here, the center of town. And a red light. And one time a rail line crossed down here. But now it's a bike trail. Right here. Chambersburg. Incorporated 1803 on Lincoln Highway. I'm back on the open road. Almost 2:10 p.m. We've come almost 88 miles. Our next mountain in the distance, Tuscarora. Now passing through St. Thomas, but not the one in the Virgin Islands. Obviously. That's the next to Odyssey, Virgin Islands, if I ever get that far. Here's what this part of the road looks like. Farms there and stuff over here. Typical scenery along the original U.S. highways before the interstates. Got some nice mountain views though. Up there again, part of the original route, which I'll turn onto. Original route, current route. This way's fine. All the history is this way. New cows, just for you. What other kind are there? And this is Fort Loudon, Pennsylvania. As I keep saying, don't know what determines which towns stay on the original route, on the reroute, and which towns get bypassed. This one got bypassed, obviously. Nice day for a walk with your iPod, whatever she had. More patriotism. And up here, back to the modern day route. Turning right to continue west. And out to ascend Tuscarora. There's a truck passing lane here. Maybe it's a semi-steep grade. More construction. Hey, sexy. Oh, there's a girl back there. That's different. Not there, though. A lot of construction today on these roads. It's construction day. And up here at the top of Tuscarora with a bar and grill. And a sharp curve. Elevation 2123. Now we're going down the other side. Got about a 5-mile descent here into McConnellsburg. It can be as tricky going down as it is going up. Gotta ride your brakes some of the way. But I've had to pick up the old road through McConnellsburg because this reroute bypasses it. And now on the original route with its curves. Now coming into McConnellsburg. And again, pit stop time. Any cool place to do it. They have a nice beef jerky selection. Guess I'll go take advantage of it. And a cool parking space with my name on it. I guess I'll use it. And back on the road. US Highway 22 crosses us here. And about to depart town. Our next mountain crossing. Almost 3 p.m. We've come 108 miles. But up here once again, back to the modern day US 30. And the top of this mountain. But they fixed this curve. It was sharper 10 years ago. And if I can lose that tailgater behind me, I'll be doing great. That was Pebble's Cobweb Corner. Oh, it still is, okay. Something didn't change. Interesting road. There goes my tailgater. He's in a big hurry. He was almost kissing my... Nice modern stuff there as we ascend Sideling Hill. Just as on a National Pike ride, we ascend Sideling Hill. 2 months in a row. The top of Sideling Hill. About to pick up a different road here for a reason. To go check out an old tunnel with the same name as this mountain, Sideling Hill. This is a different road that we're on now, a side road, not the state highway, obviously. We arrived at our parking spot for our Turnpike Tunnel walk. We got some rain clouds. We have to wait till they pass over. It never fails. But I wish it would, just once. Just some minute drops, but still, I'll wait a few minutes before beginning the walk to the tunnel. Okay, the rain stopped. Let's do this. And over here, the trail that will take us to the original Pennsylvania Turnpike. But the section up here got bypassed back in '68. Let's go have a look. Out of the woods and on the original Turnpike section. As I said, this part got bypassed back in 1968. Up right in the bend is the Sideling Hill Tunnel. Around the bend to the west would be the Rays Hill Tunnel. If you recall the movie called The Road, that's where it was shot, at that tunnel. But too far to walk to it from here. So in that case, let's check out the Sideling Hill Tunnel of the old PA Turnpike. The turnpike was 4 lanes, but the tunnels were originally 2 lanes, and traffic would often bottleneck during busy periods at the tunnel entrances. Some tunnels got made into 4 lanes with parallel tunnels, and some got bypassed, such as this one. And now this has become an unofficial bike route. And then by the tunnel entrance, we'll try and go up to the ventilation room up top there. And check out those big blowers they got up there. But apparently they closed the door that gets us inside. So I can't take up to the ventilation room. Like I shot a video years back when I could still get up there. Now facing east through the tunnel, there's some seepage coming down that you can maybe hear. There's our seepage. I thought I saw a distant bike headlight. And again, the seepage. But a shame I can't take it to the ventilation room. Shame is closed off for various reasons. And looking back west, the way we came in. There are a couple of videos on YouTube that show this tunnel when it was still in operation, complete with traffic. I recommend you check those videos out. They're very interesting. In fact, even my mother once passed through here back in 1948 on her way to Cambridge, Ohio. She recalls a route with a bunch of tunnels, and back then all the tunnels would have still been in use. Still, a shame we can't go in anymore. For the longest time, there was no door there. Inside this room are steps going up to the ventilation room, which I guess we'll go check out. It looks dark in there, but it's not as bad as it looks. Just came out of that door after climbing a flight of steps. This is level 2. The ventilation room was one more level up there. Through that opening in the ceiling there. And there's the turnpike that we walked to get here. Here's ventilation room on the 3rd level. With big fan blowers, whatever. Imagine how much noise they must have made when they ran up until 1968. Another one down this way. Right there. Don't want to risk getting sucked into that. Right. Again, the big ventilation blowers there. In this room here, to the south, where nothing much is happening. Just a big empty room here. What could have been here at one time? Anybody got any guesses? I'll check out this room one more time here. First time in high def blowers, how about that? Plus they never did you any favors. Here's the way that we got in. We were just up there. Now back at the 2nd level again. With a view of the old turnpike. But again, I could head back down these steps to the bottom level. Now back at tunnel level. A lot of water seeping through, dripping down. And looking west, out the portal. When the turnpike first opened, around 1940, there was no speed limit whatsoever on it, and folks did whatever speed they thought they could handle. But 6 months later, they had their first traffic fatality on this road, and then they decided to post a limit after all. True story. In fact, this was first intended to be a railroad, not a turnpike. The Vanderbilts tried building a railroad through southern Pennsylvania to compete with the mighty Pennsylvania Railroad, but they never completed it, and this right-of-way sat idle for 50 years until someone thought of putting a turnpike along it. They dug the tunnels partially, but never completed any of the tunnels until the turnpike came along. So, if not for William Vanderbilt, there'd be no tunnel there built. Thank him for that. Oh, and by the way, the Vanderbilts are still in business. But they're not railroad moguls anymore. Now they're cosmetic moguls. To be exact, Amy and Gloria, they are descendants of Commodore Vanderbilt and William Vanderbilt. There you go, another true story for you. And once again, my way is the highway. In this case, an abandoned highway. Yeah, highway's a highway. Hard to believe this one's carried a lot of traffic. Wow, a highway can drive 160 miles without shifting gears. That's how they touted this when they first opened it. Now we have automatic transmission, and nobody shifts anyway. And here's the path that takes us back to the vehicle. And back at the vehicle, where it's sunny and hot now. When we got here, it was raining just a little bit. Alright, hit the road. So here we go. Back down this cool gravel road. In the winter, it's an ice road. One solid sheet of ice. One motel there. Wonder if it's still in use. I heard that at one time some sleazy things went on back there. Enough said. Anyway, back on Lincoln Highway. We are stopped just east of Breezewood, looking down at the modern day turnpike. That's the reroute for the two tunnels I just told you about. The old turnpike was in the valley down there someplace. In the distance, Breezewood, and we'll soon be there. At one time there was an overpass here for the old turnpike, but they removed the overpass. But I shot across here to the left. I guess for safety's sake, and for insurance purposes. Anyway, now coming into Breezewood, the town of motels. And fast food places as well. And gas stations. The town of everything. Up here is the only traffic light on I-70. That'll be our return route. Probably. For I-70, back east, turn left at the light. For I-70 west, behind us is a turnpike connection, and 70 follows the turnpike for a while. There you go. Original lanes over there. Now these bound lanes. And these are the new westbound lanes added in for about a mile. Then the lanes are back together again. It's now a little after 5 p.m. and we've come 138 miles so far. Now coming into Everett on the bypass section of the Lincoln Highway. Yep, one of the towns that got bypassed. This is the old road, the original route. Still, how did they figure out which towns to bypass and which to keep on the route? If they can know the answer, let me know. And now we're gaining the original route, or rather the current route, I should say. Was part of the current route on top of the original, so same thing. Just widened a bit. We're now passing through a place called Snake Spring. As I keep saying, you can't make up stuff like that. Picking up the original route through the town of Bedford. And Bedford itself. And some of the architecture in this place, however you say that word. We're going to pick up the original US 220 northbound. Now north on the original US 220, the current 220 follows I-97 to the Altoona area. And it's 82.4 degrees out there. 82.4? How do you arrive at that number? How many of us can tell the difference in 1/10 of a degree? Anyone out there? Now passing through Osterburg. We stopped at that store there before it closed down. They opened up a new Sheetz about half a mile up that I guess put them out of business back there. You gotta dig these old weathered buildings on either side of the road. Now they're fun to look at. But once again, raindrops. But it was raining worse here yesterday than it is today. So still glad I waited till today to take this route. Passing through Kimball, PA. It's sunny and raining at the same time. With more moo cows. Yep, sunny and rainy at the same time. Coming down too. Better put the wipers on. Still, where's the rain coming from? Outside, nothing but blue sky. And this is King, Pennsylvania. In the rain. Despite the blue sky. In the distance, part of a rainbow. Trying to bring it out. An old Penn line crosses here. The line from Cumberland, Maryland to Altoona, Pennsylvania. And in a while it'll begin paralleling us. And over there, that line now parallels us on its way to Altoona. And over there, part of the old road to this. But not where it's taken. It comes out up ahead here. Lots of these routes have old road sections. As I said, most were straightened out, quote unquote straightened out, in the mid-1930s as part of our defense highway system, in case another war should come along. And a few years later, another war did come along. How about that? In the 40s. So good they fixed these roads. That's I-99 on the overpass there. Now heading west on the original US 22. Again, for a reason. At one time, the Pennsylvania Canal System ran along here. But, see the mountain in front of us? They used the Portage Railroad to get the canal boats over that mountain. Portage, Portage, however you pronounce it. And that railroad had 10 inclined planes, 5 on each side of the mountain. Yes, back then that was state of the art. That's how they did it. Then after the other side of the mountain, the canal resumed again. So they would put the canal boats on flat cars to go over the mountain, over those inclined planes, then back in the water again in the canal on the other side of the mountain. It sounds awkward to do it that way, but as I said, back then that was state of the art. And just as US 30 was the Lincoln Highway, this US 22 was known as the William Penn Highway. But contrary to popular belief, Pennsylvania was not named for William Penn, but for William Penn's father, who gave the land to William Penn. There you go, more history trivia for you there. Now you can amaze your friends with that story. Above there passes something known as the Mule Shoe, which at one time was a bypass for Horseshoe Curve. But now no more track up there, now it's a bike trail. But that was the Mule Shoe. A wet road. I guess it rained here too. Picking up 4 lanes here. Original lanes over there. Added on lanes over here. Yep, the line that carried the canal boats over this mountain was called the Allegheny Portage. The top of the summit's up here someplace. And up here to right someplace is plane number 6. And there it is. Plane number 6. You have 1 through 5 on the far side of the mountain, and plane 6 through 10 on this side. In that order. Here's the historic site. See what's happening, if anything. Nope, not much happening. So I guess I'll head back out. They changed things around here a bit in the past 20 years. In the distance now there is a place called the Lemon House. Used to be able to park next to it, but you can't anymore. That parking lot there, but they got rid of it. Now it's all weeds. Go figure. But anyway, back at the foot of plane number 6 that we got a glimpse of a little while ago. And directly behind me, the arch that the Portage Railroad would have passed beneath back when it ran. That's called the Skewed Arch Bridge. Above the bridge would have crossed the original William Penn Highway before it became US 22. Now the highway passes on either side. Over here, the westbound lanes we just came up. And to the far right, the eastbound lanes. A little historic FYI there for you. If you can't finish reading it, you can always use your pause control. And the top side of the bridge that once carried William Penn Highway, and west on the current route. The route number 22 itself has been rerouted. They put the parallel 4-lane highway someplace to the north. But this was the original US 222 and William Penn Highway. And now on the bottom side of the arch, the track would have gone this way. Right about now, I can't tell where. It all grew over. But the track would have gone that way somewhere. And right now, your guess is as good as mine. And there's how it all came about. Long story behind this, sort of. A cool plaque there for you. Right back to the vehicle. The temperature's starting to drop a bit. It was 80 a little while ago, but here at the top of the mountain, it's like more like the upper 60s. And again, passing the modern day US 22 at this interchange. Going to pick up South 53 in an effort to get to a place called Cassandra. Yep, another Sheets over there. It's my first time over this route, so I'm seeing this for the first time, just as you are. Of course, you've been here before. In the outskirts of Cassandra. Just hope the road goes through. Well, the road that ends at the overlook, I think. Well, kind of bouncy, too. But there we are. We made it for the first time. And some more attractions along this area. Too much for one day, though. Looking east on the line, although our compass direction is almost due north at this point. A favorite spot for many YouTubers, apparently. Apparently an old road once crossed that bridge a couple hundred years back. It's not wide enough for a car, so I guess maybe a wagon road would have crossed here. Looking west, got a clear block, but no one's showing up, except for those trespassers. Yes, I did, despite no train. Since I got no train, I'm not going to sign your guest book. No departing, Cassandra. Passing beneath the Norfolk Southern line again. It's about 7:30 now. Won't get back to the hood until about 12 midnight. So better make tracks. No pun intended. From this point on, till we get back to Maryland, I'm just guessing the route. Never been this way before. There's the line again. Yield. Anybody coming the other way? It figures. Now my turn. They gotta yield to me. As they said back in the 70s, yield. It's more fun. I'm hoping that if I keep on a southbound route, I'll get back to Maryland eventually. Or else I'm in big trouble. Here comes the rain again. The past 3-day rides have been rainy rides. This is Wilmore, PA. Gonna try and pick up 160 to the south. Maybe avoid Johnstown. After all, weren't they flooded out at one time? Hey. Plus, if this number 160 rings half a bell. Or a third of a bell. And there's Norfolk Southern again. Also, the Amtraks use that line. And still a few minute raindrops out there. And now it's pouring out there. We got back in the car in time, didn't we? Unless back at Cassandra, it's not raining. Gotta make a turn here too to keep on the road. Where is it? No turn, just follow the curve around? That's confusing. Welcome to PA. We have a crossing here. But not sure if it's CSX or Norfolk Southern. Stay southbound. I figure if I go south, I can't go wrong. But these days, one never knows. It's a heritage route of some kind. But whose heritage? Well, the rain simmered down a bit as we passed through this place. Another semi-quaint hamlet on this route. Again, patriotism. Down to a place called Winburn. or Weinberg, however you say it. That's how it's spelled. Established 1897. And again, a crossing of sorts. There's a station over there, but I can't stop. Not enough time. Oh well. There's always next time. Another crossing of something here. Doesn't look like it's used very much though. Looks like it dead ends about a quarter mile down. Not even enough time to stop for a bite. If I get back before 12, I'll turn into a pumpkin. Oh, Bedford, okay. I'll go back there and pick up 220 southbound. That'll get me back faster. The sign says tracks out of service. Oh no. Say it isn't so. Misty Mountains. Now coming into Pleasantville, as you can probably tell. One of the many. Here's some life in Pleasantville. Gas is more expensive here though than around Airway. Now departing Pleasantville. Again, as you can probably tell. You on occasion get some cool scenery along these routes, but they can seem very endless though, very infinite. Gotta love that mountain scenery. Now in the modern day US 220. We took the original route earlier, and also on Interstate 99 as well. They built this in the early 1990s. Almost back to Bedford. And took a couple new roads in the process that even I've never seen. This one I have seen. Up here, the modern day US 30. Which we'll backtrack on for a bit. There's Bedford over there. We passed through it earlier on the original US 30, Lincoln Highway. Now we're bypassing it. And up here we once again meet up with the classic US 30, Lincoln Highway. Now going to be backtracking a few miles the way we came up. But actually, yeah, I want to go this way. That's right. We're back in Snake Spring. Twice in one day. The current Pennsylvania Turnpike up there on the bridge. We're going through there, through that gap. Now bypassing the towns we passed through earlier, like that one. Old 30 there. We'll take the bypass this time. speed things up a bit. It's called the Bud Schuster Byway. Bud Schuster is a Pennsylvania politician who likes getting his name on stuff. That's how I hear it. In fact, they once called this Schuster's Folly. Actually, he planned a monorail around Altoona that didn't take off. That was Schuster's Folly. Never got off the ground. Still backtracking on the original Lincoln Highway. Almost back to Breezewood, where we'll pick up Interstate 70 for the rest of the way back to the city. And back in Breezewood. Now it's all lit up. And this is I-70 southbound. Begins at this light. The only traffic light on I-70.
How comes it east?
They thought of taking out the traffic light, bypassing Breezewood, but the business owner said, nothing doing. They'll lose business. Okay. Back east to the big city. Now about 9:08 p.m. as we begin losing light. So far we've come 275 miles on this ride. Still more to go. Another 118. Some good views there, but hard to get. The view's playing hard to get. Just recrossed the Sideling Hill, back to our side of it. And the last exit before crossing back into Maryland. Phantom fireworks. Why are they phantom? And up ahead here, some mileages for you. Baltimore 108. And I know how far we gotta go. Up here back in Maryland, but still got miles to go, as you just saw. We took it that way on our last day Odyssey, over the National Pike. Back in Maryland. Heading east. Up on the last Odyssey, the classic road that I showed you was the National Pike. And today's was the Lincoln Highway. But I'll get back a bit sooner now. In Maryland, we have a higher speed limit on I-70. Just posted, not too far back. Well raised, not too far back, whatever. Now bypassing Hancock. At least now the highway number and the speed limit are one and the same, so making better time. Big pole in the C&O Canal. I used to go bike riding there. I'm back in bike ride territory. Now we're bypassing Hagerstown with an army of dead bugs on my windshield. Got a whole bunch of bug corpses stuck to my window. I guess from the rain and the high-speed driving. A lot of bugs did their kamikaze thing on my window. almost tell. Yep, those are bugs. Dead ones. And up here, Maryland's own Route 66. Well, the ramp's closed. Yep, we have one of those too here. Which I've shown you before on other day Odysseys. But of course now it's a night Odyssey here. That's how it all began, with night Odysseys. And now we're in the Frederick area. And as I said, my front windshield is a battlefield. All these bug corpses. Back in my younger days, I didn't mind stopping to clean them off. Now it's too much grunt work. But there are times I'd stop every few miles and get rid of them. But I can't do that now. I got older. There's always tomorrow. I prefer a bug-free window and existence. We got some action there. But the road's a bit wet. Did it rain here recently? We have wet pavement. Now down to one lane due to construction. Making good time until now. We'll be out of this eventually. Check out those bright lights. If you can see them through the dead bugs. You're going the wrong way. Jeez. Whoa.
Wow,
Just cut into my path. Lucky I'm alert. Well, a bunch of gravel back there from the road being torn up. Hope they didn't scratch the car. Lucky you don't have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. I'd be suing the state right now. There. And more up ahead. There goes my paint job. Oh, jeez. Okay, who repaints cars cheap? You'll get my business. Hope this is the last one up here. Yeah, pull over, wherever you're going. See you later. Okay, come on. Open road, please. I guess it's up to me to open it. Still got just one lane. And the traffic cones. Oh, could appear the end. That was the last one. Okay, back to speed. Lucky left by a Maserati home. Would have gotten scratched up back there. And now bypassing Newmarket. The home of another fellow YouTuber. Always give him honorable mention when I go by here. And over there, the inspection station that's never open. Or so it seems. And more construction. A lot of that today. Okay, enough for one day. Now back in the Baltimore area, the eastern end of I-70. But gotta go clockwise around the Baltimore Beltway for a bit. It's around 10:50 right now. Been on the road a bit over 12 hours. Up here we depart the interstate system. For good. At least for today. And now we've departed our vehicle. Back in the hood. So today's journey was 10.5 hours and 396 miles. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, break time. Cue the music and the end credits.